Hey everybody, today I'm going to be doing a deck breakdown for Usopp. I've been playing him a ton online. Today I took him to the Carta Magica online regionals and I ended up getting 20th place. So that means for the first time, I got my nationals invite, um, which is super awesome. Um, I had one placing back in set 3 where I got 25th place. But back then you didn't get invites based on unless you were top 16 actually. So this is my awesome alt leader, number 9 of 50, and then most of the day I was playing with that. But alrighty, yeah. So my matchups today were Lucci, Blackbeard, 2 Ploofies, 3 Dofies, Katakuri, a Whitebeard, and a Shanks. So the 2 I lost was one of the Ploofies and one of the Shanks. So I beat out more or less beat out all the things I was supposed to beat, and had a rougher time into the things I wasn't. So, but that's sort of the way this deck works. It's got some polarizing matchups for sure. But I will say, even the 2 matches I lost were like pretty darn close. I think I recorded possibly both of those ones. I did record a good amount of the games today, but not all of them. And then like a couple of them I only started like halfway through, just to reference for me once I remembered. But I will be posting the ones I did get, just so you can kind of see what the deck did. The deck list that I ended up running this time, I've been practicing it for the last couple weeks. It was one of the top 8 lists. I saw it on Vampire Gaming's channel. I think the pilot's name was Mini Pro. And he kind of gave some like good tips there that I've been sort of like working on the last couple weeks, and I think it paid off here today. But I'm just going to start it off because it's sort of like one of the major things is just playing 4 King Kong guns. From what I could gather, this is like the answer to winning all of your bad matchups, is to get as many of these as you can and to spam them at the end of the game. That's how I beat the one Ploofy that I did win against. It's how I would have beat the Shanks if I had another turn or the extra counter. And it is how I almost got there too against the other Luffy. But pretty much like there was multiple times this tournament where the only reason I won is because I had 2 to 3 King Kong guns in hand that I had filtered throughout the game. So it definitely is like a big boon to this deck to just like have this like finishing card that is really hard to play around, especially with how wide our boards can be. And obviously the trigger, like I probably triggered it I think 3 times throughout the tournament, where I already had one in hand and just needed to dig for more, or it filled up the yard so I could actually use the other ones I had. I'm playing all 4 Colosseums. I think it's just super necessary. I did have multiple games where I did not see Colosseum until later, but I saw Colosseum in every single game eventually. And that's partially because I'm playing 4 Leos and 4 Rebecca's. The 4 Rebecca's I think are super necessary, especially when you're playing to these 4 King Kong guns. One of the tips that Mini Pro gave was that he just was focusing on filling the yard as much as possible, and Rebecca's one of your best cards for that because it gets 2 cards in without you losing anything really. I'm playing all 4 Idio. I think it's the same thing, it just like fits in pretty much every turn that it needs to. 4 Bortolomeo, pretty much necessary. with any Usopp deck, I think. I'm playing all 4 Frankies, so we got this suite of blockers. We have 12 blockers who all are either like well statted, have like insane effects, especially against Dofi. Frankie's huge. I played 3 Dofis today, and every time you play a Frankie, it's nearly untouchable by their like law. So they have to figure out other ways. One time, I'm pretty sure one of my opponents had to red rocket off the field. So I played 3 Cavendish and 3 Zoros. It's like the one part of the list that's like so odd overall is like I really wish there was a way to just play 4 of both of these, but the counter is just so light and your game plan doesn't always need it. But like Zoro is like a huge MVP against Dofi, but is like also there was multiple times where I had one and it didn't really even kill anything on my opponent's board, and I just played it out as a 4 for 6. Cavendish was super good. I think in my first game against Lucci, I got to play like through all 3 of them. And yeah, they were pretty hard to remove. I'm playing the one of Luffy. He did some weird stuff for me today. I never won the game with him, but in one of the Dofi games, I was able to clear 2 of their blockers that were standing. And then in the Whitebeard game I played, I actually used Luffy to clear 2 choppers so I could swing the rest of my board at his life. But he never really got to do that, like, I win the game because I swung twice at life thing, or even, like, never got paired with King Kong Gun. I played 4 Kairos. There's not much to say about Kairos. He's very good. A lot of the things you want to hit are at 5. It's pretty rare that, you know, there's like a 6 or 7 that you really care about. All 4 Rebecca's, obviously. And then I have my 2K suite. So, I chose to play 3 Sabo. This did come up, and then the matchups that it mattered the most were against Dofi. I would play it out so they couldn't remove 2 of my things on board with the gravity blades. And I'm pretty sure that that did save me a couple times on a gravity blade turn. And then the other one was against Blackbeard. I played it. He searched up liberations, and I played out a Sabo to stop his liberation turn from being as effective. I played 2 Gats. I don't think I ever played him or used his ability at all the whole day. I would be kind of tempted to just go back to running 4 Soldier, but I ran 2 Soldier. I think maybe like one small change is just like 3 Soldier and just 1 Gats on the off chance you have an effect that needs it. There was a couple times where I was so behind that Gats felt like it would be good, but I always chose different lines instead of committing the 2K to board. But yeah, this is pretty much the list. I think that I like my matchups generally. I got pretty lucky. I never really had to. I only played against 1 Shanks, and that 1 Shanks game was, I think, close. I'll have a video on it. I think I recorded the whole thing. He pretty much swung on a lethal turn, and I didn't have enough counter he swung exact lethal. And I think I had him on the return swing. And then the other loss I had was to Ploofy, and it was kind of similar to where, if I remember right, it was a very close game. Closer than it probably should have been. And I just ended up fizzling out and couldn't finish the game. But yeah, that's the deck. Pretty excited at the idea of going to nationals. pretty excited that I got to do it with Usopp, which has been like, you know, kind of, it's like the reason I even like started making any of this content was because I really liked Usopp. He's kind of my fave, and I thought the leader was at least interesting, if not, you know, the best, but at least very interesting and fun to play. So I'm hoping that I will get a time in the future where I can play this deck again. It's good enough, so we'll see. Alright, have a good one, y'all. Peace.